Hello everyone. This video is going to explain the microscopic anatomy of muscle and muscle tissue. So there is a number of things that you need to know, and we're going to start with first the structures themselves. So we have a skeletal muscle. At this point right here, we're looking at this skeletal muscle, which is known as the bicep, okay? And the bicep, of course, is on the front of your arm. Hopefully you've been practicing those muscles which came on your lab, so you can call me and we can go over those. Bicep is one of the ones that you have to know, so that's the skeletal muscle. The skeletal muscle is made of repeating units called fascicles. So a fascicle, in this picture that we have here on the screen, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fascicles. So those 12 fascicles make up what we learned back in the chicken wing dissection, makes up a muscle belly. So muscle belly is another way we can say skeletal muscle. So fascicles make up skeletal muscles or muscle bellies. Fascicles make up muscle bellies. Now, if we look inside this fascicle here, you're going to notice that there is that, again, same design that the fascicles make up the muscle belly. Now we're looking at skeletal muscle fibers make up the fascicle. So here we have 1 muscle fiber, 2 muscle fibers, 3 muscle fibers, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 muscle fibers that are shown here on this diagram. Okay, so we have 9 muscle fibers. Those muscle fibers are part of the fascicle. The fascicle is part of the skeletal muscle. So if you did the worksheet I gave you, we had numbers 1, 2, and 3, and then we had 4, 5, and 6, looking at the names of the structures and then their coverings. So if I look at this one here and I call this number 1, the muscle belly, then what covers the muscle belly? That would make the epimysium what covers the muscle belly. Okay, so we have linings and coverings that cover and separate one organ from another. The muscle belly is covered with the epimysium. So next, we're going to look at the fascicle. The fascicle is the name of the structure. And what epithelium covers a fascicle? Well, that's going to be the perimysium. Okay, so the perimysium covers the fascicle. So if I go back and I look, I can say here that the skeletal organ or muscle belly is covered with the epimysium. Then we can say that the fascicle is covered with the perimysium. And last but not least, we are going to find that we have the muscle fibers covered with something called the endomysium. All right, so those are our different layers. You have 3 structures, they have 3 different names, they have 3 different coverings. Okay, so here we have the notes that you should have already recorded, and those hopefully now are more clear to you. Okay, I want you to recognize that your blood vessels and nerves are going to be in between your fascicles. So notice the blood vessels and nerves here, okay? And then notice the blood vessels located in the diagram, okay? So blood vessels and nerves, if we were to be able to take a picture, they're going to run along the outside of those fascicles. So here we don't see the fascicles in this picture, but we definitely see the blood supply. And your muscles, of course, need a big blood supply, okay? So, how do those chemicals needed for muscle contraction get around? Well, they come in the blood. You guys should know that the blood is the superhighway of the body. And if we look at this right here, you're going to see a couple things that you need to understand. One, the sarcoplasmic reticulum. The sarcoplasmic reticulum is the blue structure that you see that has all these holes in it. And if you notice the ends here, these ends here are open, showing that this is like a system inside where things can flow around. That sarcoplasmic reticulum is where the chemicals are going to be distributed, causing muscle contraction. So keep that in mind, sarcoplasmic reticulum. The sarcoplasmic reticulum is going to be how the muscle distributes the neural action potential to all of the muscle fibers at the same time. And those muscle fibers are going to be made out of something that we call myofibrils. We haven't gotten to those in this picture. At the end right here, you can see all of the little dots at the end, which I'm doing this to the side because I think when I do it over the top, you're going to have a hard time seeing, which I did both. Okay, so the myofibrils, as they're called, make up the skeletal muscle fiber. Okay, so we're going to talk about the myofibrils next. I'm going to save that for my next video, and I will explain the microscopic chemicals that cause muscle contraction.